Yo, what's up, folks? Demigod Reviews here. Currently walking out the movie theater. Just got through seeing Dragon Ball Super Broly, and I gotta say, that's one hell of a movie. But this is my first ever movie review, and you know what time it is. We're about to review it. Cue the music!
Before we get to watching this video, I just want to let you guys know that there are some spoilers within this movie review. Yes, this may be my first ever movie review, and I try to make it spoiler-free as much as possible, but there are some spoilers. So if you haven't seen Dragon Ball Super Broly, and if you don't want to be spoiled, I suggest you turn back now. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, that's it. Time for the movie review. If you're still here, still rocking with the video, it's time. Let's do it. Cue the music.
That's right, folks. Dragon Ball Super Broly has finally touched down within the United States. After a month or two of waiting after the Japanese release back in November, the States finally gets the English version of the brand new and all revamped Broly, which takes a different approach on Broly but still remains the same in some kind of ways. It's up to Goku and Vegeta to stop the newly approached villain and stopping Frieza's ultimate plan of evil in the long run also. Can they do it? Can the universe be saved? Will Broly succumb to his rage or be trained? Find out in this review.
Let's talk about the story of Dragon Ball Super Broly. When they first kick off the story for the movie, it's a bit more serious tone as they go back into the past, talking about Planet Vegeta, as we see King Vegeta holding his throne and the Frieza Force coming down onto the planet. We see King Cold and Frieza taking over. Frieza is taking over for his father, King Cold, and it's a bit more sinister, a bit more brutal. If you're a Frieza fan out there, you know what Frieza is capable of. We see the backstory between Paragus and Broly and how they consider Broly a freak compared to the other babies in the nursery, and how King Vegeta was a bit more jealous that Broly was a bit more stronger than Vegeta. Paragus and Broly getting kicked off to the planet Vampa really kicked off a lot of things. Broly had to learn to survive on his own. Paragus chasing after Broly, having to survive a storm, having to survive killer bugs on the planet, and Broly befriending a furry animal that was kind of like a 6 to 7 foot beast that was really creepy but also cute at the same time. We see Bardock getting it in on Planet Vegeta also. You see him with Kakarot. They take a bit more different approaches to this, as if you remember the Saiyan Rebellion that happened in the first movie with Frieza, you remember every Saiyan was fighting against Frieza. However, this is taken out. They take a different approach as the Saiyans watch their kin get slaughtered. It's more so Bardock fighting by himself to fight the Frieza Blast, and he gets slaughtered from it. We see Planet Vegeta getting blown up as they take a different approach, and Kakarot is sent to Earth and time gets pushed into a different position. Now, I will say the story kicks off a little bit better. It has a stupid plot point also, as the Dragon Balls are being taken from Bulma. Bulma wants to decrease her age with the Dragon Balls, and Frieza wants to take the Dragon Balls to increase his height by 5 centimeters. Stupid, right? I know you're like, what? But no, that is a serious plot point. That is a serious thing. It's very stupid. I don't like the plot point of that at all. The Dragon Balls are actually being utilized for something not that great, not that decent, but they do have an actual plot point later on. We see Broly growing up. He is captured by Frieza. They find him on the planet Vampa. Paragus is a little bit older. He's grayed out. He has Broly under his control with the collar. We see a lot of things happen here. Broly is soft-spoken. He's this poet warrior with a heart. He has a lot going on for himself. He's soft-spoken, but he is a bit crazy, as he almost gets into a fight on Frieza's ship, but Paragus stops him with the control collar. The little alien chick that finds him and the little guy that's with her, they snatch the remote, taking it from Paragus, and it kinda, we see where it's gonna go from there, as he doesn't have any control anymore and his collar is broken. Now, I will say the plot point of Goku and Vegeta trying to get the Dragon Balls back from Frieza with Bulma is actually, this is where the story gets good. This is where the story gets amazing, because it's just non-stop fighting from there. And we also see a kind of technique that we haven't seen in Dragon Ball before, where Piccolo and Goku have like this mind traversal thing back and forth. We know they feel each other's power as they do this kind of thing in the animation and whatnot, but we've never seen them actually talk telepathically like that. But it happens in this movie, which is also pretty cool to see Piccolo getting some love. Shout out to the black man doing this thing. But I will say, outside of that, serious plot point right up until they actually reveal the plot of why they're trying to get the Dragon Balls for Bulma and Frieza. So stupid. But I will say the story is actually pretty good. I love the feeling of how they treated the old school with King Vegeta, with Paragus, with Planet Vegeta in general, they really filled it in, really taking a serious tone and filling it out and making it a bit more surreal than you actually get to know them. I kind of wish they actually did something more with this, like they did a whole anime backstory on the Saiyans way back when, because it was a bit more surreal, a bit more brutal, a bit more open than we used to know about the Saiyans themselves, especially King Vegeta, especially Bardock. I kind of like seeing this in action a little bit more, and I wish they did do something with this. But the plot point of the fighting, everything between Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, really good. We see Broly learning how to fight quickly. It's Vegeta versus Broly. Vegeta pops his red form. Goku's pulling out new moves in his red form. It's really good. They try to talk him down. Broly's just continuously powering up. He's countering things. He's beating the hell out of Goku. Vegeta, on the other hand, in this story, really seems to actually not get washed. It's mainly Goku doing this thing and getting washed, which is actually fun to see. But the first half of the movie has an incredible story that I really want to see transition and develop a little bit more. The second half, while it's just pure fighting, it kind of loses the story a little bit. Yes, there are some major key plot points that happen, and they do kind of come into full circle later on. It gets kind of wishy-washy story-wise, but let's be honest, if you're a Dragon Ball fan who's really looking for the story, we haven't had like a great story arc since maybe Zamasu, maybe Cell, maybe Buu. The story goes out the window when like it's modern day things. But I will say the story does really give you this feeling, this feel good moment, as it's really done great. But overall, if I had to give the story a score, I would give the story a 3.5 out of 5. While it does have some great moments in the first half, the latter half just seems to go out the window. Yes, it comes full circle and things come about, but it's mainly prioritizing fighting and growing and getting stronger and trying to find ways to defeat Broly and possibly, or may not possibly, kill him. But let's talk about the audio. Audio of Dragon Ball Super Broly was one of the more unexpected things that I really didn't like. I wasn't going to feel myself connect to. The English dub was phenomenal. The voice acting felt great. Sean Schemmel does his thing as Goku as he normally does, as he does put it on the map. And then you have Christopher Saibata as Vegeta, who really actually kind of stole the show. He had witty one-liners, and the back and forth between him and Goku felt great. The back and forth with him and Whis and Beerus and everybody just felt really amazing. But if we had to give it to one character, seriously, if we seriously had to give it to one character, it would definitely be Frieza. Frieza, cocky, witty, killing all the Saiyans, just dropping one-liners. And then the moment with Paragus, if you know the moment I'm talking about, hilarious. There was a lot of comedic lines, there was a lot of humor, there was a lot of breakaway from the seriousness that actually felt really good into the play of the story. And I actually kind of like what they did. The audio felt great. The voice acting for the English dub was great. I kind of want to hear the Japanese dub and see how it is, see how it feels with subtitles and how to read. But honestly, I gotta say the English VA wasn't that bad. And if we also had to talk about the score for Dragon Ball Super Broly, where it's the booming soundtrack, the bombastic go Broly, go Vegeta, the soundtrack where it just started getting really, really good. They started pumping up, they started turning up the powers, the punches. You felt everything about it. I have to say, this is probably one of the best things about Dragon Ball Super Broly. As the soundtrack starts just pouring in, and you start feeling really good about it, the music, everything feels great. And especially with the voice acting back in the flashbacks for Planet Vegeta. Even though you know that's Christopher Saibata's King Vegeta, he still separates his voice from regular Vegeta to King Vegeta and does a pretty great job at it. But I will say, even though Broly had like a lot of talking lines in this movie, I kind of feel like, yeah, they were trying to make him seem like they was just soft-hearted Saiyan who was really misunderstood and his pops like did him kind of bogus or whatever. I still wish he had a little bit more gruff to his voice. Kind of like the same way that Jiren has for his Japanese voice acting. I really do wish he had a little bit more to his voice. I understand he's a soft-hearted Saiyan. He really doesn't want to fight, but he does his thing regardless. But I still kind of feel like, yeah, they should have added a little bit more to it. But if I had to say, the audio of Dragon Ball Super Broly gets a 4.5 out of 5. And now for the animation. for the animation of Dragon Ball Super Broly, I kind of felt like it was really good. There was some surprising moments, even from the beginning into the fights, into the end, when everything started to calm down and the characters started looking a bit more natural. The animation was actually really good. There was some surprising moments, like the first-person fight scenes from Broly's perspective, fighting Goku, and like finally seeing characters get into modes that we haven't seen before, especially Vegeta when he finally pops that red form. Oh my god, it was fantastic. It was great. The animation was fluid. I actually kind of like this animation more so than they had for the regular Super animation. It looks way better in action, way more fluid. They started doing a lot of things more different in this movie when it comes to the animation, especially the power-ups. Oh man, look, guys, listen, seriously. When Goku pops that red form in Dragon Ball Super Broly, and you start seeing a little bit of the green ki that comes from Broly, I was like, hold on, you got me. The way it looked in action, the ki, the energy blast, seeing Gogeta fight, everything looked amazing, bro. It looked really good. And I have to say, I thought the animation was going to be a little wonky at first because they were doing a little bit of a different toe here. As it didn't look as good as I thought it was going to be at first when I first seen the trailer to now. But after seeing it in action, it is a completely whole different experience. The animation is fluid, it's drawn well. There are some moments where you step back and it's kind of like, hold on a little bit. Faces are disappearing because they're pulled back from the camera a little bit. It's zoomed out. Yeah, I understand that's a little bit more drawing, a little bit more technique, and they're trying to save some budget, or they didn't really have to animate that scene that much. But I felt like while this is a great animation, while it is greatly fluid and greatly fast-paced, and does everything possible to look as good as possible, there are certain moments where the camera, let's say the characters are step back here and you really don't see the faces, or they don't look as good, or they take a moment to cut back on certain things that actually needed to be animated. Yes, it looked great, it looked amazing, but there are certain things that you do notice. But I will say, Broly looked good, Goku and Vegeta in red form looked good, the world looked good, even though there was a little bit of iffy 3D in the ratio here. Yeah, the ice planet was kind of like, but it did look good from the lava world once everything started breaking down. So I will say, outside of the iffy 3D, outside of the little moments where they needed to animate certain faces on the characters, the animation does look damn good. Gogeta looked good in action, and Broly looked good, especially when he started transforming into his forms and just really getting into the character of the legendary Super Saiyan. It looked good. If I had to give it an overall score though for the animation itself, I say it's sitting at a 4 out of 5. I do like it, but I do also have some gripes with it. And now for the overall score for Dragon Ball Super Broly. Overall, Dragon Ball Super Broly is a peak for the franchise that is Dragon Ball. If you're a fan, you're going to love this. If you're new to the series, it explains a lot in the backstory and still gives you enough to bring you in, to draw you in as a fan of the series. I will say there are some minuscule gripes, like animations being a little wonky, the story having like a little bit of meaning outside the backstory, the plans for the future villains that come about, like Frieza wanting to increase his height and Bulma wanting the Dragon Balls to decrease her age, was kind of stupid really. Yes, there's some witty banter and some funny comedic lines between Goku and Vegeta, and Frieza having some really cool one-liners. The animation for the battles are dope. The plot point of Frieza wanting the Dragon Balls to increase his height was actually kind of stupid. And the plot point of Bulma wanting the Dragon Balls to decrease her age was also kind of stupid as well, and it kind of really took away from the seriousness that actually brought forth from the plot. The story was great from the backstory, learning about Planet Vegeta, seeing what happened with King Vegeta, pair against Broly, and how everything kind of turned and how the Frieza Force became to be. Really great, and I actually do like the changes they did with Bardock, how he actually got Goku out of there and did something, not the Saiyan Rebellion, but actually did something against Frieza when it was time for Planet Vegeta to go. I will say the animations were fire. The fights were amazing. Seeing Gogeta in action was really cool. However, there was a point in time where the 30-minute time limit seemed kind of iffy to wait and for them to redo. The fusion dance, I understand what they were doing with that and how they were trying to make it comedic and also more serious at the same time. It really didn't seem like it needed to be like, oh, you have to be at this angle, or you have to address it at a certain angle. Sure, your finger slip But it was never really that serious in Dragon Ball Z, and I kind of don't understand why they went this route now. I understand it was added for comedic humor to make people laugh with the fat Gogeta, the super skinny old Gogeta, but at the same time it felt like it was kind of a time waste as they had to wait 30 minutes. I don't know if Frieza was able to last a full 60 minutes against Broly, as Frieza was getting the dog shit whooped out of him really, but at the same time I understand why they added that for more comedic humor, but that part kind of threw me off. But I will say the fights were amazing. The animation for the fights were amazing. Sure, there are a little bit of moments here and there where the animation on the faces go away and they like take away and detract when characters step back and zoom out. But I will say, sound was great. The soundtrack was amazing. The voice acting was amazing. That was top notch. Sure, there are some moments where it's kind of dry and it takes away from the actual seriousness of the film. But outside of that, I will say Dragon Ball Super Broly is a phenomenal film that people must see. Whether you're a fan, whether you're new to the series, or whether you don't like the series at all, please take a step in and go watch this film. If I had to give Dragon Ball Super Broly the pros and cons, the pros: animation fluid, fights were amazing, the backstory of learning about Planet Vegeta and what happens were god tier, and I had to honestly say, seeing the forms in action, seeing how Broly was treated, and seeing the new steps that they give him, the new depth of love they give him, also amazing. But if I had to take some of the cons from the film, like some of the comedic humor really didn't need to be there, the plot point of Frieza and Bulma having the Dragon Balls really didn't make sense, some of the animations looked kind of iffy in action when they started taking away from the camera, and honestly, when it all said and done, the winning of Gogeta really didn't need to be there. I understand it was there for comedic humor, but it really didn't need to be there. But if I had to say, Dragon Ball Super Broly overall gets a 4 out of 5. Phenomenal film, I had fun, but I do have some gripes with the movie also. But that is all, folks. I thank you guys for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell icon. Check out my links below to everything that I've done, whether reviews, let's plays, or think pieces. Little box is going to pop up right here talking about the Dragon Ball Z action RPG, and little box is going to pop up right here talking about Mortal Kombat 11. I thank you guys for my first ever movie review. This is something I've never done before, and I would like to hear you guys' feedback on the video. It is nerve-wracking. This is my first time doing something like this. I tried to sum it up the best I can when I was taking along, and I didn't have any press kit or any movie scenes like that, so I had to do it the best that I can. Yeah, I talked over the trailer for a little bit to actually bring you guys in, but most of it is just on camera, and I just hit this to knock something down. Wow. But yeah, this is great, guys. Hit that like, subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next. Until next time, until the next video, guys. Well, tune in, turn up, and throw down. It's looking like a GG, and I'm out. Also, and that's pretty cool itself. No. That's pretty cool. God. Overall, Dragon Ball Super Broly was a great movie. It was a great step in the... Overall, Dragon Ball Super Broly is a peak franchise. What? What am I... Alright. Alright guys, let's talk about the story of Dragon Ball Super Broly. The story of the movie kicks off with a ton of backstory. We go all the way back to Planet Vegeta, learning about Paragus, learning about Broly and his power and how much of a freak he is compared to the other babies that's there, learning about Kakarot, learning about Bardock, and everything in between. They actually do a fantastic job of showing this, as it's a bit more serious tone that you normally don't see in Dragon Ball. They kick it off with Frieza and King Cold.